Hey everyone, it's Alex from Level Up Gaming Cafe. Something a little bit different than just gaming live stream today, although we'll do a little bit of that. But today we are going to be looking at the SNK Neo Geo Mini. It's a good little machine, and yeah, I'll be running through that and checking it out. Basically, I've not played a lot of it, so let's go. Okay, so I actually forgot that I'd pre-ordered this a while back, and yesterday it kind of arrived, which was a nice surprise. This came through the door. It's the Neo Geo Mini. It came with, that's the box for it obviously. Came with, we've got black controller, white controller. Obviously I'll be showing all those later on, but then this is the main unit here. It's very cool. Came with an optional couple of stickers which I've already put on, like a marquee sticker. Pretty simple. Pretty much got your on off button there. You've got mini HDMI cable there. It came with a cable, headphone port, and then you've got your USB C connection, which I've discovered can be powered, just plug straight into the TV, like so. Like that. You can put it on. It'll come on. There you go. I might need to turn the light down on my camera a little bit. But yeah, it comes preloaded with 40 games. I'm going to plug it into the capture card in a second so we can see sort of the screen running. I forgot to mention you've got two joypad ports on the side there, so you can get two players going. You've got your little screen there, which you can see, which is very cool. Little joystick. And your select and start buttons here. It's a, I mean, if you've ever played a Neo Geo, which I was lucky enough to own one a year or so ago, but had to sell it, unfortunately. I'll just get the game up and running. I mean, SNK missed a trick by not allowing battery support. I'll just turn it up for a second. Battery support would have been nice for that, but I suppose you can plug it into a power bank. But yeah, let's see how it holds up. I mean, I'm not going to bore you with the ins and outs of the history of the Neo Geo. But when I was growing up in the sort of the early 90s, it was the console of legend. It was, I'd never seen one, just read about it and saw images of the graphics in gaming magazines. Price tag was just ridiculous. I didn't know anyone who owned one. Game cartridges were just, prices were just madness. But obviously they were made from proper arcade boards basically, so it literally was an arcade machine in your home. But as I say, I was lucky enough to own one up until sort of last year when I was part of my retro gaming collection, but you know, I had to sell all that put into Level Up, which is no bad thing because it got Level Up and running. But it was actually my favourite retro console that I had. I mean, it was just wonderful, awesome machine, basically. Yeah, I'm just interested to see how it holds up. Obviously, minis are very popular at the moment. We've got pretty much all of them in the cafe that are available at the moment. The SNES Mini, PlayStation Mini. I'm looking at them right now because I've got them all here. The Mega Drive Mini. So yeah, so in this day and age, seeing how that holds up will be quite interesting. I mean, one of the plus points of the original Neo Geo was the massive controllers that you can get with it, and you know, the lovely arcadey click with the micro switches that used to be able to get in the joystick, but they've opted not to go for those on this. Was a bit of a shame, but still feels quite a nice little joystick on there. My bundle came with a gamepad in black. Again, no micro switches, but it's quite a nice little pad. From recollection, I think the button configuration is slightly different, because I know they did joypads for the Neo Geo. I think they were called like the kidney pads or something like that. Pretty sure the buttons were differently laid out, but that's a minor thing, I guess. Also came with the white one, so I've got a white control pad too. That's quite cool. So let's plug it in and get it up and run through the gaming card. So I say runs through, can be powered through the, if you've got TV USB socket, which most TVs have these days. That's cool. Most of the minis do that. I think the only one that doesn't work powered via a TV is the PlayStation Mini. So I'll stick some headphones in here so we can get the sound going through the game card. And we'll check out some of the games on here. Let's so there we go. There's the opening menu. I mean, some of you, if you've been to the cafe or are familiar with Neo Geo titles, I'm assuming by the looks of it they put quite a lot of the most popular ones. You know, you've got your Metal Slugs on here. So we just have a little look. So that's now running. So obviously there's two modes. You can play it on the desktop mode via the little screen, which is quite cool. As I say, with a get yourself a power bank and you can plug that in and sit on the train, play it, or work or whatever. It's really quite a slick little thing, good looking thing. But yeah, here we are in the main menu. So we've got your Metal Slugs. Let's see if we get any audio through this thing, which is a bit weird. I'll try a different set of headphones. Give me a second. Don't even know if the headphone port will work whilst you've got it plugged into the TV. As I say, I've not tried caption of it yet. we'll go without any sound. So yeah, let's go back to. So you got Metal. I mean, one of my favourite games is Metal Slug. I actually had Metal Slug 1 and 3 for my actual Neo Geo. I mean, the cartridges for those, just as I say, the second-hand market these days is just ridiculous. And if you're not aware of the origins of the Neo Geo, it started off as a SNK made arcade units, and they made cartridges that actually slotted into arcade machines. So arcade owners could have one cabinet could have up to 6 different cartridges. They were absolutely huge, probably about sort of that big. That was the MVS version, multi-video system, I think it was, and then they created a smaller version, the AES, which was the Advanced Entertainment System, and I believe they originally did that to rent out to commercial units like hotels and all that sort of stuff. And then once they heard that consumers would actually pay $700 or whatever it was for a games console, they released it for the home market. So that became the AES, but the cartridges were same motherboards, I think, same game, exactly the same as the arcade chipboards, whatever they were, but in a slightly different cartridge. So when I had my Neo Geo, I had to get a converter because the MVS, the arcade versions of the games, retailed for a lot cheaper on the second-hand market, as opposed to the original home cartridges, which I was looking at, some of them went up to like £3,000-4,000 for a game, which is just crazy. But I ended up getting a converter that could slot on top of the machine. You put your arcade cartridge on top of that. A bit like one of the old NTSC PAL converters that used to be able to get for the Super Nintendo back in the day as well. And then there was a cartridge that actually had 161 Neo Geo games all in one cartridge. So it was a great find on eBay, and that was my last retro console to go. I really wanted to keep hold of it, but needs must. So let's have a let's look at Metal Slug. Let's go to the original Metal Slug, shall we? What button to press? The original jingle. I mean, it's not the sharpest looking conversion, really. I think the Mini runs at sort of 720p, I think, and YSNK didn't go for a 1080p
Metal Slug
version for the Mini. I'm not entirely sure, but you can kind of tell that it's, in this day and age, it's not as sharp as it could be. But I'm used to this because that's kind of how my machine played anyway.
Mission 1, start. Heavy machine gun.
reason they
Heavy
didn't use.
machine gun. Playing shot.
Well, it runs pretty slick controls. Nice.
Heavy machine gun.
So if you've been in a cafe and played out Pandora's Box, you might have played this. You might be using Metal Slugs also available on the Switch and PS4 these days as well. So they're not hard games to come by. Imagine if this is one on the PS4.
Machine gun.
Might as well on here. Nice length on the old controller thing as well. R2 in. Players who are running. Neo Geo is just like your arcade.
Okay.
Neo Geo stuff. So let's have a little look through. Okay, so we've got some settings here.
Metal slug.
I'm quite sure how to access them. So, okay, so we've got some ratio settings here. So that's obviously filled the screen. Okay. Image quality optimization. Let's see if that. Sharpened up a little bit. So you can now get the extended copper retro ratio down. The Ultimate has cleaned that up a little bit. It looks a bit like a lot of games on the Pandora's Box look, but I'm not quite too sure if I prefer it or not, to be honest with you. Let's stick with how it should. Neo Geo looked, and I like that. Okay, so we're back at the main menu again. I mean, obviously, they're famous for their fighting games. I think that was one of the main reservations of the Neo Geo consoles, that there were a lot of fighting games. But you know, that's what the arcades were full of back in the day. You know, especially the King of the Fighters. King of the Fighters '98. I had. This was the only original AES. I had the home cartridge of King of the Fighters '98. Just because I wanted a original game as part of my collection. I wasn't going to. It's a ridiculously expensive console to collect for, and I wasn't going to buy any more than that. But I wanted one, and they came in massive plastic. There was a name for the actual boxes, but like proper video rental boxes from decades ago. We used to rent videos out, but almost twice the size. It was just a very meaty, awesome machine. So yeah, King of the Fighters. I mean, Neo Geo did have some amazing fighting games. I haven't played a huge amount outside of Street Fighter, to be honest, but gaming magazines. Just looking at graphics of the Neo Geo and just wondering who owns these machines. For its time. Slick, fast. Footage of very good Neo Geo being played. So that's nice. Doing the chunkiness of the sound and feel of the original click joystick. Sounds better. Sounds good. So that's King of the Fighters. So I've done a fighting one and shooting one. And I see loads of fighting machines. Super Sidekicks, I believe we've got that on the Pandora's box in the cafe. Blazing Star. Seem to remember playing this. I'm trying to play the games that I kind of remember playing on my machine. I was hoping to get a second webcam set up so I can actually play the console in sort of outside of the TV, but I managed to get hold of it in time because the shops are shut. But yeah, it does play. It is a cool little machine to sit there and terms of how it sort of holds up in the market of minis at the moment, it's if you like your retro gaming, and obviously the pleased with the little screen on the actual console is fantastic. It doesn't come with a plug for the USB cable, but obviously you can power it by USB or just get a hard angle plug and then you're away. The game's playing just like they did on my original Neo Geo console. In terms of pricing, it's pretty much the same as the says Mini, but not quite my back technically. I think this was £80, I think, and so pre-ordered it a while back, just right. For £80 you get the 2 additional controllers, which is quite nice. HDMI cable, and yeah, you do get the little screen, so it's the whole machine is there. So try this again. Look at that. I'm just going to turn the screen optimization again so you can look at that. Yes, I mean, for me, that's nice. You know, that would, I'm quite happy with that. Could have been a little sharper, but you know, I like the retro feel. I like the fuzziness. I like playing the PlayStation Cat and you know, an old CRT TV. Turn it on. That's good. If you don't like craziness, that's just have a little. There's not much more I can say about it really. Obviously, if you've got any questions, you can just you know, write a comment in the YouTube comments down below, message me on Facebook, and if you want to know more about it. But aside from that, I'm pretty much, obviously it's a bit tricky to show some actual gameplay on the screen itself. I mean, it's a nice little screen. I can see if I can show you a bit more. We'll just unhook it from the HDMI. I mean, obviously you can you can use the controllers on the screen, obviously, so you don't have to use the joypad. You can use the joypad with it in this mode, so you can sit there and play it with the joypad, which is very cool. Let's see if I can do it without. Okay. It's a bit annoying because the light in the I'm playing it one-handed, so but the screen itself is cool. So there's not much how much. I might just go through and let's go through all 40 games. Not play all 40 games, but see what else we've got on here. Some of these I don't recognise. King of the Monsters. Let's have a little look at King of the Monsters. I think I had a King of the Monsters for the SNES, and it was awful. Since Super Nintendo wasn't as powerful a machine. Fighting and wrestling. It's the wrestling at the end of the day. Yeah, I had it. King of the Monsters. Goku 3, Magical Lord. Shock Troopers. Again, I think this is on the Pandora's box in the cafe. This is another sort of Neo Geo game that was quite popular, I think. Keeps changing which button. Every menu you go through just seems to change what is the select button. volume move upwards, I think. From what I can remember. Again, it's just a awesome arcadey shooting. Bashing through, showing some gameplay as best I can. I didn't actually know there was a Shock Troopers sequel. So if I'm going past a game that you want to see and see playing, I say just mess with me. I can always pop back on and see Super Sidekicks. I mean, I'm not into sports games really, but I'll show you this. I was into Sensible Soccer. That's pretty much as good as it got for me. Again, I think this again is on the Pandora's box in the cafe. There aren't any slots for a memory card as far as I can.
First game.
But yeah, the
Germany versus
Neo Geo console actually had a memory card put it inside the game. And the idea was that
Kickoff.
back in the day you could take your memory card and go down to your local arcade, stick it in there, and then continue playing exactly the same game from where you left off at home. Basically, that was the idea. So I mean, this is kind of like a lot to it.
Rowan. Rowan.
Last resort. There's a couple of. I mean, it's just there's a couple of games that I really like that aren't on here. There was a game called Viewpoint, which is kind of an angled space shooter. I think that was probably my favourite game on the Neo Geo. Just because it was just awesome, had an amazing soundtrack, just played really well. That's not on here, which is a bit of a shame because I thought that was quite a big title. And is it Windjammers? Was it? I think it was Windjammers. Which is kind of a beach sort of frisbee throwing sort of arcadey game. That was a fantastic game as well. That doesn't seem to be on here. Let's just try a couple of games that I've never even heard of before. Blues Journey. Whatever this is. Obviously, once we reopen, we'll have the Neo Geo Mini in there set up as well, so obviously you'll be able to sort of come and play it and test it out. I mean, I do love the the mini consoles. I think they're the. This on here over viewpoint. I mean, outside of shooters and beat 'em ups, the games outside of them weren't particularly good. That's obviously their skills are in fighting and shooting, not in platforms, if this is anything to go on. I think there are a couple of not too bad games, but they were very hit and miss. And I have no idea why they put this one here. It's one of those games you'll just probably never ever play again. So yeah, I'll just go through the games and that aren't fighting or shooting. I think aren't fighting or shooting anyway. Shot jump. Get one of these missions, when they say there's 40 games on it, or they've got the 40 games that you kind of want to really play. They want to have 40 games and then 39 of them are utter rubbish. A bit like the PS1 Mini, which is perhaps the one I've been most disappointed with. All the titles that they could have picked. There are some good ones on there, but they're very disappointing. I think there's only like 25 games on there, I think. So this is Magical Lord. Right. Let's just see. I'll just see what robot armies and cross swords, and then we'll probably wrap up with a thought, because I think there's not much more I can say on it that I can think of. This looks pretty shady actually anyway. So I don't know whether you can actually change the layout of the buttons, because that's not really showing me much, is it? Because my... No, I can change into a car.